What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and as we go through and test this hero, we find a lot of really cool things that work out. One of the new really cool features with the basically Dream Realm is you can share your best clears with everybody on your guild, or on your server or battle group. I don't know which one it is, but you can share and let other people see what type of team compositions you are using, which is kind of cool. There's, like, of course, some things here that are shared. There's recommended, which is the old list they used to show you, but you can see like what the top damage dealers are kind of doing and what their team compositions look like. And we're gonna do something very similar to what C9W is doing, except you notice they have, like, they got Paragon heroes. We don't quite have Paragon heroes. We don't have any Paragon heroes, but what we do have is a couple really interesting pieces to use now in this fight. So one thing you won't know, but Phraesto is like one of the best tank damage dealers, and actually he's the top damage dealer in something like Lone Wolf or Lone Gaze. The big thing to remember about him is now his illusion damage will show up on the scorecard properly, so you get a much better accurate reading of how much damage he does. And you can see here the new best team is essentially 3 Celestial and Hypogen heroes and 2 Mauler heroes with Smokey and Coco. So Smokey is actually, see how he's got that little aura above his head right there? That's because we have our Talene at Mythic Plus, and Mythic Plus basically is going to allow that target to revive. I was thinking about putting like Scarlet up there for the additional damage, but in reality, Smokey does die in this, and the revive plays a really big role. The only downside too is I did make some mistakes when I was upgrading my artifacts, which I'm going to be talking about in a video coming up soon. We're going to stick with, I think, Evocation Spell. I think that's the best one for us. At least I think it is. Scarlet is going to be in here. She, of course, does do a decent amount of damage, but you have to remember, too, the Season ability, giving additional damage at the end of the battle, is really cool, too. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. And again, you can basically just stare down here at Talene's HP bar, because she's essentially just going to have her HP bar bouncing up and down, and that's what you really want. Is you want Smokey to keep her alive and keep her going, because she just deals so much damage in that form right there. And then you'll watch towards the end of this battle too, Smokey will start getting targeted by the WOLFPACK that gets summoned, and he will go down. See how he's getting really low and he died? He instantly comes right back and continues his healing to keep the fight going for longer time. And that's one of the biggest upgrades to this squad I've seen. Now, of course, if you have Paragon heroes, he might not actually die, which then it's not as relevant. But you can see our damage number is going up and up and up and getting insanely good scores. So really awesome. This is something that is really cool to have, and you can see right here, Phraesto is in fact the highest damage dealer, followed by Talene, then Scarletta, which I still need to work more on my Scarletta, honestly, and then of course Smokey has some damage, actually almost equivalent to Scarletta, which is cool as well. So that is like the base team that is now, I think, considered the best team. However, if you don't have a lot of these Hypogen and Celestial heroes, because let's be honest, you might not have Scarletta, you might not have Phraesto, you can still do something very similar with Talene with some more traditional heroes. So again, this is going to be an interesting swap I do right here. What I'm going to do is Rhynear, because most people should be getting their Rhynear up to where they need to be at this point. And we're going to continue to run the Coco Smokey type team, but this is much more viable, I should say. Now, one thing to remember is Talene is usable in this, even if she isn't to Mythic Plus. She's going to be better at Mythic Plus, of course, but just remember, the revive on your ally only happens when you do get her to Mythic Plus. Everything else is happening at other times. So this is more like a single target damage, or a single damage dealer. I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like here, but again, this is a more budget version. But again, you're still having 2 Celestial and Hypogen heroes, but keeping her going is going to be the most important thing, and the fact that you have her linked with Rhynear gives her additional healing too, so it just makes it a little bit easier to get this going here. You do have the extra revive and everything if necessary on your ally, but you'll see here the extra revive doesn't come in and play as much of a role. Still pretty solid damage. I'm actually really surprised at the damage we're outputting here. It's still really good. Up to 30? Holy cow. I actually was not expecting the damage to be this good, and that just goes to testament of how strong Talene is right now. She is extremely strong. So yeah, 32. Interesting. That is very, very interesting here. That is still really solid damage, all things considering. Talene definitely takes over in that situation. But even if you don't have a team like this, or let's just say you're going for Talene over Reinier even, substituting someone in like, oh, I don't know, you're doing something more like this works good, because Corrin is a really good multi-purpose type target. And again, putting him a little bit closer up here is kind of the better play here. So I'll show you guys what this looks like as well. Not going to be as good, but again, you can keep substituting these heroes out based on what you go. If you go for M plus Reinier, you can basically do the same team we showed you, but with Corrin instead of Talene. If you go for the Talene over Reinier, you can still do a similar team by having Corrin in the mix as well. But just remember, if you don't have all the Celestial Hydrogens, you're not going to get the tippy top record, but you can still do very, very good damage nonetheless. And yeah, you can see the Smokey does go down early at this point in this type of team composition, sadly. We're still going. We might hit 30. Actually, I don't know if we'll hit 30. Without Smokey's healing, that means Talene's gonna go down a lot. Yeah, you can see a big difference in power. So you can kind of see like the huge high-end damage, the middle end, and the last thing I'll show you is going back to our original team one more time. So we're gonna go back to what we were running with Phraesto and everything. Let's get Phraesto in the mix here. We got Smokey up there. The other thing is, instead of running Scarlita, if you don't have her, because that is a big ask, you can also run like Corrin in this team as well. Corrin and Scarlita honestly have a very similar power level when it comes to this boss right here. And hopefully our damage number here shows that exact thing for you too, so you can see exactly what's going on. Good one-to-one comparison, honestly. Let's see what our final damage numbers look like here. Good damage overall. Love it, love it, love it. 26. Still got 30 seconds left. Everybody is still alive. Took a lot of damage in the back. And actually, Talene's the one getting focused now. Interesting. So Talene did drop out of her ultimate there because she was getting focused. So again, it does make your team a little bit more squishy, but you can still see pretty solid damage overall. Honestly, don't even need Phraesto if we're kind of doing this type of damage anyway with like a Reinier combo. But there's a lot of different options at this point of heroes that you can use for the Lone Gaze battle when you get to Endless. So there's a lot of options. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you guys find something that works even better, let me know. Remember, this is going to be at all different levels, but now that we have this recommended formation here, it's cool because the game asks you, do you want to share your formation? If you're like, yeah, sure, share it with everybody, then it does. If you want to keep it secret, you want to keep it hidden for ranking reasons, you can keep it hidden as well. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.